is basically playful. There is no necessity for it whatsoever. It isn't going anywhere. That is to say, it doesn't have some destination that it ought to arrive at. But that it is best understood by analogy with music. Because music, as an art form, is essentially playful. We say you play the piano. You don't work the piano. In music, one doesn't make the end of a composition the point of the composition. If that were so, the best conductors would be those who played fastest.
Sabah al-Khair, good morning everybody. Today we do some kind of analysis for support.com. The ticker is SPRT. Quick view about this company. They are saying here it's provide customer and technical support solution delivered by home-based employee. It provides cloud-based technology platform to companies in multiple industry. Very nice. I don't care. I don't care what they do. I don't care what their business. All we do is doing technical analysis. I'm gonna do a kind of explanation how to put your support and resistance lines and what is the potential of having a good entry point and exit point for this ticker. They have earning call actually by tomorrow, so we'll see what's gonna happen. Actually, if we look into the bigger picture, SPRT been moving. They've been in kind of consolidation for a while, and since I would say 19th of July they start to go up, marking up an uptrend since almost 16 July till the peak was in 27th of July, and then they go back again till 571. This is maybe in a week or 10 days. They dropped from actually 9 till around 5. Then they move again. Then they did pull back, and they going up again, and now they are dipping. Okay, so I'm setting up my chart as 1 hour. Okay, so in that case, I like to use the 5-day moving average for an entry point. So as I showed earlier, the 5-day moving average, in that case, we're gonna use the 30 moving average. Okay, so we have to differentiate, and I want to highlight on this more. Like the traditional 65 moving average, this is like a 65 period. Okay, but when I do 5-day moving average, this is a 5-day moving average for the last 5 days. Okay, including those candlesticks, which is in that case it's around 60 minutes. So so as I said earlier, the 65-minute chart, we're using moving average 30. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is to define our support and resistance lines. Okay, so I used Fibonacci. So what I'm gonna do, Fibonacci is very useful in long term or in higher frame or higher time charts. So I'm using 1 hour. Okay, and I'm gonna take, let's say, the lowest peak. This is from the earning call that they have in 12 May. So we're gonna use the Fibonacci retracement. So I'm setting it up here and going till the peak up to now. Okay, So this is, I'm gonna highlight, like, this is the lowest point, and this is the 78%, and this is the 61%, and this is the 50%, and 38%. As you see here, and 23%, and this is was the peak. Okay, so this is mainly this interval, they call it the golden ratio. If you look here, when it dipped till the 61%, this is where there is a fear, and as you get close to this 50 and 60, this is a kind of a deep pullback. Okay, so there is a deep pullback till 61%, then it goes back. If it goes until 70 and break it, I think this uptrend is dead. There is no more uptrending. However, this is a kind of a deep pullback, and then it goes back again till around 816, pull back till the 50% Fibonacci, and then goes again. Okay, so those will be my, let's say, the solid static support line. Then I would like to see the visible range, or uh, the the highest volume being traded over this interval, or the price with the highest volume being traded. Okay, in that case, it shows at around uh, I would say 430. Okay, and if you look to here, this can be as well showing a support and resistance lines. Okay, so if you want to put support and resistance line, is not just a line, it's a zone. Okay, so when we say 888, it might be the whole zone, maybe like 860 to 888 and up front. So if we look here with the volume profile, you have here, this is the point of control. You say at 430T, I could consider this as a support line as well. Okay, and here, this is where there is most of the volume of trading. Okay, above this price, there is no much kind of trading being happening. So this is why it's shaded like this. And so that can be as well a support line. Uh, Support and resistance line. But anyway, I mean, I'm just for your information, it's not just a line, it's a zone. Okay, that might be, there might be a kind of slight movement up and down. So now we drew already the VBVR. I would like to put it in red. Okay, and then uh, there's a very useful tool called the anchored VWAP. Um, there are a lot of information about it. Actually, the anchored VWAP was created based on the background of the volume weighted average pricing, but the anchored VWAP was developed by a guy called Brian Shannon. Um, this guy is very has been in the industry for years and years. He's very kind of master in what he's doing. So I recommend if you can follow him in the future and see his videos about anchored VWAP. So what I'm gonna do is to find the points where I can anchor the price and see how the anchor VWAP will perform. Um, the VWAP is more into telling you the supply and demand, the who is in control in terms of buyer and supply and buyer and seller. So if you look here, I did anchor um, at the at that point, which is 19th of July, whereas this is a low point. Uh, and you can see here, you know, it's moving up, then stabilize, up, stabilize, and it shows who is in control. And it's very clear after they break this, the buyers are in control. And later on, once they break this line, the sellers now in control. So this is a very good tool or indicator that helps you to have an understanding who is in control, because it's very clear here there is a lot of shortening. There are many people in short position here. Once they break this line, there's a kind of a lot of buyers getting in, and this is why the price is pumping up. So I anchored at this point, and I anchored as well at 27 of July, which is here, where there is a peak and then a dipping back. So you have here, and I anchored as well at 4 of August and 13th of August. Okay, so if you look here, those points, they act as well as a support and resistance line. So if you look here, after we draw the Fibonacci, we were having a support line. Actually, this was a support line here, but after it acts as a here it was acting as a support line, and then after they break it, it will act as a resistance line. So if you look here, the the sellers are in control. So they break the 888, they break at another support line at 878, and they break this one, and so on. So now it's kind of dipping. So what I'm gonna do now is to display the 5-day moving average, and as I said, for the 1 minute or the 65-minute chart, I'm using the 30 moving average. So I'm gonna show it here. So if you look here, it was acting as a dynamic support line, and then they break it. Here they were acting as a dynamic support line. After they break it, people get in, and this is where the point where you have a good entry, and you have to tie this and look as well into your price action in terms of the shape of the candlestick patterns, how it looks like, the body, how it looked like, the shadows, and so on. So it's very clear here that buyers starting to have control, and then it moves up. You can see this in the volume, you can see this in the momentum, how it's moving up. Now it's kind of dipping. So my recommendation to get out of this trade and wait for this support line. If they were able to break it, it will go beyond. If not, and you see kind of a volume and kind of a change in the candlestick point, this can be a good entry point, and so on. Okay, So so you have um, to see the 5-day moving average. What I'm expecting, actually, it might go. We have a support line actually done by the deadline anchor here, so you can see this one. Hold on. You can see here that the anchor, the view app. This was the a historical one, and we can plot it here. And there is another one which is very close to the Fibonacci line that we drew earlier. So if the if the seller still, there is a lot of short positioning and sellers keeping controlling, that might come to here or here. I would expect, if earning call is kind of positive and there is a kind of attraction for the sticker, there might be a bounce here. So at this bounce, you can try to enter and monitor the volume. And typical for those tickers, I would recommend that you get in and get out at the same day. So if you, especially now, it's kind of um it been uptrending for a while, so there should be a distribution interval coming. If there's a kind of a good news and kind of buyers start having control, that might jump back again. Okay, but when I recommend earlier because it was very clear that this ticker, the price was low for a while. Okay, we have the jump and then it goes down. So here there's a kind of momentum where you have, like, it went to a very low point. It's around 221. Okay, so this is a good entry point at that time. But now it's already breaking its 52 week range, which is 1088. It happens here during this interval. Okay, so so it's nice to do it for scalping, but my recommendation is to wait for those signals, to wait until the candlestick is breaking the 5-day moving average like this, and as well close to a support and resistance line. Okay, so you can capture or having an entry point where it's not like a fake signal, and you need to wait till at least it makes a higher high, and then you can jump in. So we will be monitoring it until we see kind of a momentum and more attraction. Then you can jump in and start capturing, because you can see here it went from 694 into 9 something, actually 10 something, the shadow. This is in less than 24 hours. Okay, and the same, it dumps very fast. So we're gonna wait and see, and this is on my list. Why? Because it has a volume. So if you look here, the average volume for the last 10 days is 12 million, and the volume being traded last week, actually on Friday, it was around 83 million. So, and this is one of the main factors that you should be chasing to see a good price movement. Okay, uh, and at the same time, the shares float is very low. It's around 9.98, which is the this is the number of shares offered for public for trading. So this is why you see this kind of big jumps. So let's wait for the earning and see what's gonna happen. And yeah, and have a nice day, guys.